here. What's up, guys? Happy... Oh, wait, did we do an audio? I didn't check my audio levels. Hold on. It's good. All right. And happy hump day. Happy Wednesday, June 7th, 2023. I hope you guys had a good night last night. Interesting results, to say the least. Shout out to the live chat. Noel, Dang Lazy Mofo, Robert, Jake, Daniel, official Rick Ross, hustling up in here. 4-Prawn Dinger, picked up the channel membership yesterday. Appreciate that. That's love. We don't get a lot of those during baseball. So, the fact that you got one, pretty awesome, man. Appreciate you. Let's see. Do you guys think dropping Jeremy Pena in fantasy is justified? I have Witt, Altuve, Edman, and picked up Spencer Steer if I drop Pena. Yeah, Pena doesn't look like a priority. I wouldn't lose sleep over it. I don't know how your league works. I have Altuve. I didn't want Altuve. I actually auto-drafted this year. I completely forgot about it. And then he was on the IL. And he's got name value, so I don't want to just drop him, but I really don't want him. But whatever. Keller turned into a garbage can. Yeah, man, we were talking about Keller's strikeout regression. I didn't expect all that. That got crazy. What up, RC? Hope you're doing all right. Yeah, that was like the shocker of yesterday, is that the athletic stack, especially Jace Peterson, turned into magic. Kevin Gossman led the slate fantasy points, 13 strikeouts after giving up that was a leadoff bomb. Other than that, the Dodgers losing in walk-off fashion, that was unexpected, but we still got a bunch of runs from that game, 9-8, stacking the ballpark always. And then, yeah, Oakland dropping 11. So I don't even think I had a single Oakland stat. Actually, you know what? I lied. I had 3%. But only one of them had, like, Jace Peterson, and he was, like, the linchpin. But, yeah, it was an okay night. Mitch Keller letting everyone down. Let's see, pitching-wise, Gossman. Giolito had a solid game. Paxton, a great game against a Cleveland team not known to strike out. 9 of them for him. 7 innings pitch. Good for him. Logan Gilbert, solid game. Tough matchup. 6 strikeouts, 7 innings. Went there at about 8%. So I was happy with that. And then, yeah, I guess it wasn't too many big surprises, right? So let's close that out. Let's get caught up on some weather here. By the way, some of you guys are in Northeast, right? Man, those pictures that are coming out from like New Jersey and New York, absolutely crazy, man. Like the post-apocalyptic feel. I think there's a real chance that I actually just clicked a tweet on Twitter from this guy. It says there's no announcement as of now, but I'm hearing that the game is officially canceled. It would be a doubleheader tomorrow starting at 4. That's not official. But there's rumblings that today's Yankees game is not going to happen. And then Roth also alluded or hinted at it. It says, let's discuss wildfire smoke. New York played through truly miserable air quality yesterday. It was over 100. But it seems they may not repeat of that scenario today. I think a smoke PPD is very possible. It would come with plenty of notice if it does occur. So keep an eye on that. Otherwise, Colorado, orange, yellow, scattered showers and storms. There's not much more to say than delays. Very likely PPD not out of the question. Colorado is like always going to have something for like the rest of the season. And we've seen them wait and play historically. So I always kind of lean towards them getting in unless it's truly unstoppable. But that's what we're working with today weather-wise. But yeah, we got to keep an eye on this Yankee game. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it as orange. Luckily for us, first game on the slate. And it's not like a rain delay, right? They're not going to wait for the smoke to dissipate. So if they do yank it. If you guys see that news before I do, let me know, and we'll just remove it. Eat my shorts, Abyssus. The air quality in New York is off the charts. I think they postponed the game. I agree. Like, I wouldn't, and if I was a city official, like, I wouldn't want it to play. I'd be like calling Yankees management. Bronx air quality. Let's see what it is. Right now, Bronx air quality is at 332. That's, you literally can't. I don't ever even see. That is literally crazy. Yeah, I feel like there's absolutely no way they could play in that. That's crazy. That's crazy. 2 hours from Canada, smoke is way worse downstate. Dude, that's crazy. I didn't even see any videos of the fire, but pretty wild. Also, like, the wind blowing south, or for it to come south. Unfortunate. What up, Rob? What up, Darnell? Just came back home. My clothes smell like charcoal. That is so wild to me. I'm so thankful that I'm not dealing with that right now. So we're not going to spend too much time on this game because I feel like it's not going to play. But Lance Lynn versus Randy Vasquez is our matchup. And that would be another. I don't know how stuck they are on Randy. I guess Vasquez would have to pitch no matter what tomorrow in a doubleheader, but they could use an extra roster spot for the doubleheader. 6.97 expected ERA for Vasquez. Just one game out of him, 26% K rate. He had a real Luis Hill game where the strikeout stuff was there. The results were probably overperforming of the advanced metrics. So I'm not going to get my hopes up there. And then Lance Lynn, 25% K rate on the season, 5.4 expected ERA. So neither pitcher would be a priority for me. I do think any pitcher against the Yankees right now with any type of strikeout stuff has a strong range of outcomes where they do pick up those Ks. So that 25% K rate for Lance Lynn could come out and play. 28.7% against righties. This lineup projects with just 3 lefties. So it would be crazy to take some Lance Lynn. Former Yankee great Lance Lynn. But yeah, like I said, this is probably a game that's not going to play, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Implied run total for the Yankees is 4.5, White Sox 4.2, and Yankees lineup didn't come out yet. They're not going to play a Yankee game until Aaron Judge is healthy. I mean, the fire goes. Yeah, Judge is on the IL. Luckily, they said it's was a bruise, contusion ligament. It's not broken. So yeah. NYC public schools were open today. I doubt they canceled the game. I think they will, but they could. But if air quality is over 300, it's truly irresponsible to run that. I mean, I don't know that it's going to be better tomorrow, but it's an irresponsible decision to put the public in that spot. And your players, for that matter. I don't know, asthma or whatever. Another 4K pitcher on DK. I don't know if this, like I said, I feel like this game gets yanked. There's a lot of murmurs and rumblings. And air quality being, I've never seen air quality over 300. That's crazy. So let's move on for that game from now. And then maybe when we get towards the end of the stream, we'll have a better idea of, like, if no news is good news in terms of that game playing. We'll make stronger leans there. But that's the first game, one of the first games on the slate. So we would hopefully have that information with enough time to make a move. And usually if they postpone a game before it starts, it'll unlock those players. So you wouldn't be committed to them anyway. D-backs at the Nats. Now we're talking Zach Davies up against Patrick Corbin. D-backs of 5.3 implied run total. Nats with a 4.9. Zach Davies, Patrick Corbin, both pitchers very beatable, hittable poor metrics. Davies a 4.7 expected ERA, 17% K rate, 1.64 on the WHIP. Hasn't allowed a ton of power to his credit, but I don't know if that's sustainable. Just a 1 home run per 9 to righty so far. Last 2 seasons it was 1.6 or better, and it's not like his batted ball data is elite. Yeah, his hard contact rate went down a couple percent, but it's only on 18 innings of sample size, so it may change. With that said, it is a Nationals team that doesn't really project to be super powerful anyway, so if it doesn't pick up here, whatever, and they don't have a ton of righties that you feared, but Joey Meneses, Lane Thomas chipping a chair of them here and there for homers. So is what it is. 375 average allowed to lefties. Maybe that's a little steep, but any which way you slice it, it's a contact pitcher against a contact team. So I just don't really see the DFS upside in Davies. Inversely, Patrick Corbin against this D-backs team, revenge game. This is a team that doesn't project to be a great strikeout spot for him. On the season, the team as a whole, 22% K rate. This confirmed lineup, the 3 guys that lead the team in strikeout rates, Evan Longoria, who has a 26% K rate to lefties last 2 seasons. However, parlays that with a 224 ISO and one of the highest bomb ratings on the slate. So it's not like it could say, all right, I like that spot for him. Pavin Smith, 31% K rate, lefty-lefty matchup, sure. Somehow Corbin's not striking out lefties. Go figure. And then Nick Ahmed has a 23% K rate, but overall it's just not like a strikeout spot, and Corbin hasn't been a strikeout pitcher. So I do like the offensive upside for the D-backs, and I think that 5.3 implied run total kind of agrees with that. So I think D-backs become one of our first stack nominations. So let's put Diamondbacks in the stacks. And then Davies, like I said, 51% ground ball rate to lefties and not a ton of righties to dip into his power. Nationals, again, become one of those teams I'm just not that enamored with, but I do think I'd be fine with a Meneses or a Lane Thomas or something like that falling where they fall, you know? Hey, music's really loud in my headset, but my audio meter says it's fine. Yeah. New Yorkers should be used to terrible air quality. I mean, sure, but that's, I mean, this is a whole new level. Or parts of where it's over 400, dude. That's like, it's literally hazardous, man. You can't let public out in that, because one thing we've learned from history is the public is dumb. They don't know. They're not gonna make the best interest decisions for themselves, man. I think city officials should call the Yankees and be like, yo, we should probably not do that. But if they went to school today, maybe, yikes, I don't know. What up, Conscious? Hope you're doing all right. Maryland, man, that's crazy, dude. How big are those fires? That's crazy stuff, man. All right, so not touching either pitcher. Give me some D-backs. If you guys fell into some Nats exposure, maybe Substack, something like that, I wouldn't fault you for it, but I don't know if I'm there from this far out. Let's move on. Here's a game I kind of liked last night just because of the low ownership, and I thought when we got that leadoff bomb from the Astros we were in there, but either way we had some Blue Jays juice as well. So neither one of them was like exciting stack winning stuff, but it was a good opportunity. I'd run that back every time. We do have lineups for both teams now. Dubon led off yesterday with that bomb. Altuve, Jordan, Kyle Tucker batting cleanup, Jose Abreu, Yainer Diaz, Corey Jokes. I think Jokes, that was the other day. He had that grand slam, right? And Gray Kessinger, I don't know who that is. We'll have to do some research. So big notable absence here. Alex Bregman not in the lineup for the Astros. And on the other side, Springer, Bo Bichette, Vladdy, Brandon Belt, Matt Chapman, Dalton Varsho, Whit Merrifield, Kevin Kiermaier, and then Tyler Heineman. Bassett up against Ronel Blanco. Blanco, 17.1 innings pitched, a 5+ expected ERA, almost a 2 on the whip, and that's because of a crazy high walk rate to both sides of the plate. And we don't have a big sample last year, but last year he had small glimmers of a command issue. So let's take a little bit of time here. Let's look up 2 players from the Astros, Blanco and then Kessinger. So with Blanco, we want to see if this walk rate or this walk issue is a something that's in his pedigree, or if it's just happenstance in his small sample in the big leagues. It says he bats and throws righty, but in this, okay, he's right. I don't know. My brain was backwards. So in the minors this year, 17.1 innings, 21 Ks. It doesn't list walks here, so we'll go splits. Thought I heard something like 8 million acres, but 8 million acres? That's, I mean, that sounds crazy, but maybe. I should spend some time tonight, look it up. So 8 walks in 10 innings? Is that the minor numbers? Yeah, it is. Yeah, so this guy is a typical strikeout guy that also walks a lot. 10 walks in 17 innings. So can't really expect him to be super efficient. So not going to pitch him against the Blue Jays. And then Kessinger was the other guy we want to look up, right? Great Kessinger. What we're working with him. Here, what up, End the Great. Davies only given up 2 homers this year, and last year gave up 21 homers. Yeah, it's not that I want to pick on Davies particularly. I mean, I do, but not with this team. It's just that when he's not got like DFS upside. He doesn't get strikeouts, ground ball rate to lefties. Kessinger in the minors, a 284 average, 400 OBP, 843 OPS, 6 bombs and 176 at bats. So it seems like a replacement level kind of guy, right? So, all right. And then let's look at ownerships on both offenses. That might lead us a little bit more. 4.4 run total Astros, 5.3 for the Blue Jays. All right. So, update. Blue Jays under 5% for the offense. Astros, Jordan tips at 10%. Everybody else is really unknown. So much like yesterday, it's more of a opportunity at low ownership thing. So I do think I get to Astros and the Blue Jays. And then let's talk about Chris Bassett. Guys, is the music level fine for y'all too? I don't know why. Maybe my ears are just sensitive today. It sounds really high for me. Bassett, a 4.58 expected ERA, 107 on the whip, 17.5% call strike, sub 10% swing and strike. He's put together a few good games recently. Astros aren't a matchup that I generally love. Yesterday, Kevin Gossman's just a crazy elite strikeout guy. But if you look at two of the last 4 games for Bassett, that Mets game was really usable. A little revenge, 8K, 7.2. Dropped 30 plus fantasy points. We've seen 40 plus against the Braves. So Braves, Mets, marquee matchups. Decent results against the Yankees. So a little bit volatile, but there's ranges of outcomes that fall in his favor. And I believe we saw a 10% ownership on him in the projection. So like, is matching the field a bad thing? I think I could be all right with that. Getting $5 million this year, and he's been pitching forever. Isn't Davies he got in some trouble, didn't he? Like off the field stuff. I think it was like abusive relationship stuff. I think that was him. If not, my bad, but I think it was him. Bassett has hit a double-digit swing and strike rate in 4 of his last 5 games, so you like to see that. Batted ball data, 2 games, 5+ xFIP, 2 games, 3. So really just all over the place, which makes the volatility high. But like I said, if he comes at a low enough ownership, and I think right now we're looking at 10%. Let's see what 10% is relative to the other pitchers on the board. Vertigo Grinders says Giants. There's talks of canceling WMA game NYC, so I'm seeing Yankees game the same. Yeah, I would be more surprised if the Yankees played than the indoor basketball game. I just don't know what's taking so long to make that decision. It seems like an easy one. Vasquez was projected to be the highest owned pitcher, so that'll really shake things up. Wow. Bassett was at 9%, so if that holds up, I'm willing to be there at 10%. Just not really a strikeout upside spot. So I'll hold off to see what the ownership does after potentially Vasquez gets yanked. But this 1 through 6 on the Astros lineup, sub 20% K rate through and through, and then Bassett's not really a strikeout guy. High ground ball rate. Against lefties, though, he's been having a problem, and that's a problem for Alvarez and Tucker. This is great spot for them. This season, Bassett just a 33% ground ball rate, down 12% from last year, 44% fly ball rate, elevated line drive rate, and a 2.23 home run per 9 to lefties. So Alvarez leads this game he leads the Astros in bomb detector rating, so look out for that. 179 WRC plus against righties since the beginning of last year, so good spot for him. I definitely would be fine with Alvarez and Tucker falling as one-offs in non-Astro stacks, just because that's how premium the matchup looks so far this season. But otherwise, I'm stacking them just because of the ownership with the talent that's in the game. You have 50% of the Yankees pitcher. Dang. Yeah, I would start working on a contingency plan. A little bit of a gap in ticket sales between those two. There is, but it's the Yankees, man. They could go tomorrow as well. And they'll go double tomorrow. Yankees care about money, but they also don't. They just got tons of it. Dodgers at the Reds. Let's move on to the next game. So this is another game that this game should be popular. Last night put up a lot of runs. Like I said, this season, if you've been grinding the whole season, we rarely have been getting Reds games on the main slate. The ownership apparently polled their fans about when they would prefer to have games played, and the fans voted for like 640 games. But for some reason this series has started off on main slates at regular start time. So we're able to attack a ballpark that is premium for offense. 144 home run plus, I guess you could say. I believe it leads the league in home run rate. So it's just a really juicy ballpark to attack. And you saw that yesterday with a 9-8 ball game. Today, Thor taking on Brandon Williamson. Probably should be no different in terms of offensive output. The Dodgers lineup and the Reds lineup are both confirmed, and the Dodgers are putting out the death squad. Mookie, Freddie, Will Smith, JD Martinez, Max Muncy, all 200 plus ISOs against righties since the beginning of last year. Just really good spots from them. 21 innings of Brandon Williamson so far this season, and he's allowing a lot of premium contact, a 13% barrel rate, not what you want, especially against this team. And then, although he hasn't allowed a homer to a lefty so far, that 4.28 xFIP, that 50% hard contact rate, that 40% fly ball rate, yeah, he's keeping on the ball on the ground so far, but this is a really good Dodgers team. So because of those splits, Mookie and JD Martinez profile as 2 of the higher ratings in the bomb detector so far, but I would not leave anyone off from the Dodgers in the stack, and I think the Dodgers are probably going to be the highest owned team on the slate. Let's go look at that. See if everyone's at 20% again. Yep, Mookie 22%. That's crazy. 16% Will Smith, 14% JD Martinez. Same with Freddie Freeman. So it's a chalk stack, but it makes too much sense, right? So we'll put Dodgers in the mix. We're gonna go ahead and mention Reds there because we know that they're gonna make the cut. I am curious to see a little bit more body of work from Brandon Williamson from the minor league level. No matter what, the Dodgers are just like, good luck. But I want to see if his home run splits to lefties or if his ground ball rate to lefties is real. Postponed, just got yanked. Yankees, White Sox postponed due to poor air quality. So there they go. Tigers game got postponed as well. Dang. Goodbye. So against lefties, 9.2 innings pitched. 0.6 ground out to air out ratio. So that ground ball rate to lefties doesn't align with what he was doing in the minors, but again, 9.2 innings. And then home runs, no homers in 9 innings to lefties. 7 in 23 innings to righties. 7. That's kind of crazy. Let's go to last year. Last year, 24.2 innings to lefties. Okay, no homers. He really doesn't give up homers somehow to lefties. 0.78 ground out to air out ratio. 1.42 whip. 33 Ks in 24 innings with 12 walks. So he was getting strikeouts. And then 5 homers in 40 innings against righties. So that's still elevated. But 7 and 20 is kind of crazy. 28 walks. So yeah, just a guy that is in a bad place when it comes to pitching against the Dodgers. And then Thor on the other side, 5.4 expected ERA, 15% K rate. Yeah, Thor's just not been good. So Reds are another good spot. This is a team that's starting to come together. They got some young guns. Jake Fraley, Matt McClain, Ellie De La Cruz called up yesterday. Spencer Steers in the mix. And then a couple of stud pitchers. So like what we're seeing here. And then we know historically we can run on Thor. So we might get some stolen bases from the Reds as well. Reds ownership. It's a lot on Ellie De La Cruz. His price didn't really get buffed like it should have after yesterday's game. Then 15% on leadoff Jake Fraley. Then he gets a little bit reasonable. So I'm cool with that. Unlike the Dodgers stack where everyone's super, super high owned. So Dodgers and Reds in the mix. And this game should be one of the highest scoring games on the slate. Pre-flop, post-flop, whatever. Pre-flop. Alright, cool. Yeah, postponed. Let me go ahead and adjust that in the spreadsheet. We'll go postponed. We'll take all the players out so they're not clogging up the bomb detector. And then let's hide this so it's not a nuisance. Let's red that. And then let's go to the pitch report. And let's hide that game completely. We'll get that in there. And then boom. And now we can move on to the Red Sox game. We need some more pitchers. We need to start putting some pitchers in the mix, right? Cutter Crawford taking on Tanner Bibby. Red Sox 3.9 run total. Guardians 4.3. Both lineups confirmed. Cutter Crawford a 3.03 expected ERA, sub 1 WHIP. What kind of length could we expect out of Crawford? I know at times he was a reliever. Still kind of a short inning guy. 40 pitches in his last outing, so he just kind of can't play that. And then Bibby, what kind of pitch count we get out of him? I know he's been stretched. 96, 98, 99 his last couple starts, 5, 6, 7 innings. So that's good. Pitching against the Red Sox It's still not like a comfortable click. They do have some very low K rate guys in the top four of the lineup. Does pick up in the bottom end of the lineup, but still decent mix of hit for average, hit for power. So no warm and fuzzies, but we got to start getting some names involved. We're a quarter through the slate. So I do think Bibby's going to make the tier 3 just because we need some guys to lean on. And his stuff looks fine. 3.29 expected ERA, 25% K rate. I don't like the high fly ball rate, but it is 66 degrees in Cleveland, wind blowing in. So maybe that helps him out a little bit here in progressive. So let's go ahead and nominate Bibby as a tier 3. And we put a double B. Fudge in my peanut butter. You got peanut butter in my chocolate. And then stack wise, I think I just hate playing Guardians, but Crawford has had an issue going back to last year with getting lefties out. Do we have an expectation on who comes in after Crawford, or is it just a straight up bullpen game? Let me look at the bullpen report. Bullpen usage, Red Sox. Seems low. I mean, Bibby's solid. And like I said, 60-degree temps, wind blowing in. That one doesn't shock me. And then we're expecting a bullpen game, right? So I don't really have a guess on who would be available. Maybe Winkowski. So we just play bullpen game. And if we want to get the Guardians, we're getting there on talent. J-Ram, Josh Naylor, sure. They'll get a crack at Cutter Crawford in his 2.45 homer per 9 to lefty. So I think I'll let them fall as one-offs. I don't think I want to substack Guardians. I think we get if let's say if we get the Red Sox at like under 5%, I'd be willing. They're unowned, so I'll get to that stack. So I'll play both sides of Bibby and Red Sox, but understand it's only because of the opportunity at that ownership, unowned. Unless the Yankees and White Sox spread out some ownership, which I don't think they will. That's what we'll do with that. Mets and the Braves. Did you guys catch the little Pete Alonso, Bryce Elder, little beef, man? We're getting some division rivalry just building. Max Scherzer taking on Charlie Morton. Max is 3.31 expected ERA, 25% K rate, 14% swing and strike rate. It seems like he's finding it lately, but the Braves entered the chat. 7 innings in his last 2 outings, 100-plus pitches. Strikeouts are there. Philly at Coors. And then the Braves, as good as they are, certainly can strike out. Only Ozzie Albies has a sub 20% K rate since last year, the beginning of last year against righties. So kind of a high risk, high reward matchup. I don't know about high reward, but high risk certainly. And Max is coming in at just 9% ownership, so a little bit of sticker shock on the matchup, perhaps. So I think he's worth grabbing some shares of. This might ultimately become a 4 corners spot, depending on your thoughts of Charlie Morton. I think I will get to that, and then we'll just go ahead and put Braves and Mets in the stack list. Definitely a 4 corners. Charlie Morton, his expected ERA and his WHIP higher than Max's, and a little uncomfortable. But that ground ball rate could help us out here. 52% ground ball rate to lefties, 44% ground ball rate to righties. Doesn't really give up a ton of power. So we can eat some innings, get some outs. The run total's pretty modest, 4.6 for the Mets. The Braves are over 5, which is a rare sight to see for a team against against Max Scherzer, but it's the Braves. What kind of ownership? If the pitcher's low owned here, people get into the Braves? They are, really? Really? We got 21% or 17% ownership on Acuna against Max. Feels aggressive. That feels so aggressive. 17% ownership for 6K hitter against Max Scherzer. Max against righties this season, a 32% K rate, 0.34 home run per nine. Does have a high fly ball rate. Barrel rate's over 9%, and it's Ronald Acuna. But wow, right? Maybe that's handcuffed to the 4K Yankees pitcher, so maybe that'll shake out here in a minute. Yeah, it just feels a little aggressive. But we'll go four corners on that. We'll move on to the next game. Orioles up against the Brewers. Dean Creamer taking on Corbin Burns. We do have a confirmed Orioles lineup. I feel like we're going fast today. I started late. Or I pushed this back late because I saw there was no deeper dive today, so I didn't have to, like, stay off people's toes, you know? And then we're just dooming. Josh Lester. Man, Jorge Mateo is dropping. Incredible first month. No Brewers lineup. All right. Dean Creamer, not pitching him. 6.38 expected ERA, 1.42 whip, 19% K rate. I did play more Kyle Gibson than I want to admit yesterday, and I was actually okay with it. At the end of the day, thinking about what Mitch Keller did, I got 7 strikeouts out of Kyle Gibson in 5 innings. So that Brewers team, you just accidentally get strikeouts. So many elevated K rates. Only Owen Miller with a sub 20% K rate. So, but I don't think I'm gonna double down with Dean Creamer here. So, sure. Neither team implied for much. Corbin Burns has a 22.8% K rate this season, a 3.61 expected ERA, a 4.44 Sierra. We all know been wildly underwhelming this season relative to last year. Last couple games, we've been seeing 6+ innings more often. Strikeouts are starting to pick up, so that's a good sign, and the pitch count's really, really good. So I'm okay with getting to both sides here, actually. I don't think a 3.8 run total team gets a lot of juice, right? Baltimore's coming in unowned. If you give me 0% owned Baltimore, I'm going to take that every day. So we'll go Burnsy and Orioles. A little bit of both. And then I don't know what to do with these stinking Brewers, right? Like, if I don't want to play the pitcher, then I should heavily consider the other offense. Dean Creamer against lefties has been a problem. 325 average allowed, 1.8 home run per nine, very low ground ball rate, extremely high line drive rate, high barrel rate. Substack, want to get to some lefties, Rowdy Tellez, maybe some Yelich. I think that's what we do. Let's go Brewers on that. Not pitching Dean Creamer. What kind of ownership was Burns sitting on? Max gives up one bomb a game. Yeah, he's known for that errant fastball. Although, a couple games with no homers lately. Not consecutively, but yeah, 28% on Burns. Is Burns the highest? He's second highest. Well, he'll probably be the highest now. So, dude, Lance Lynn and Randy Vasquez were both, I mean, that's 58% combined ownership that now has to get spread out to the field. So we are going to see a big splash in pitcher ownership when this gets updated. That's pretty crazy. Burns reverse splits. He's given up 8 of his homers to righties this year. Yeah, even last year he gave up more homers to righties, but it wasn't like an immense thing. Has he been giving up homers lately? 1. He gave up 4 against Houston. That's a yikes. So usually not going to give up multiple homers in the same game. That Houston game was a problem. Then he gave up 2 in the Mets game. Highest bomb rating in the Orioles lineup. Orioles are really lefty heavy. You bring that up. 57% ground ball rate for Burnsy. 0.5 homer per 9. Does have a walk problem. And remember, I'm only getting to Orioles because they're 0% owned. And now they might be a little leverage against the highest owned pitcher. Cardinals and the Rangers. Both lineups are out. Let's get that green lighted. Brendan Donovan, Goldie, Gorman, Arenado, Wilson Contreras, Alec Burleson, Paul DeYoung, Jordan Walker, Tommy Edman, green light. Rangers, Marcus Semien, Seager, Nate Lowe, Josh Young. No Adolis today. Jonah Heim, Travis Jankowski, Robbie Grossman, Josh Smith, Sandy Leone. I'm assuming the roof's going to be closed. It's raining in the area. Flaherty, a 4.61 expected ERA on the season. Has had he had a good game 2 starts ago. So I want to look at his batted ball data individual game wise. 1 Ernie, 3 Ernies, 0 Ernies, 3 Ernies. And then the walks have been an issue all season. Seems like he's trending in the right direction, but we'll see if the batted ball data agrees. Or, you know, game by game XFIP, stuff like that. So we'll go play discipline. 11% swing strike rate against Pittsburgh, 6% Cleveland, not a big strikeout team, 8% Dodgers, yep, 13% against Milwaukee, big strikeout team, yep, all that makes sense. And then XFIPs are all over the place, 3.9, 4.3, 5, 2, 6. You sunk my battleship. So a lot of volatility and Flaherty. Matchup for him against the Rangers, really not a great one. Adolis Garcia is a little bit of a hit for the Rangers. That's one of their big boppers, but still a pretty talented team. Semien, Seager, Nate Lowe's been popping lately. Considering the alternatives right now, I don't know how often I expect Flaherty to at least blow the 4 pitchers we've got so far out of the water. So I'm willing to just like not get to Flaherty right now. But it's one of those guys that I understand if you guys want to get to him, I wouldn't fault you. If the roof's closed, you know, the environment at least is more pitcher friendly, but the Rangers have been really, really good, so I probably won't push the issue on that one. And then John Gray on the bump for the Rangers, 4.39 expected ERA, actual ERA overperforming versus the metrics, Sierra and expected ERA, 20% K rate. Might expect that K rate to come up a little bit because the swing and strike rate is there. The called strike is down 2% from the last 2 years, so we might expect that to start coming back up. So we might expect a 3 to 5% increase, positive regression for a strikeout rate. Cardinals, not really a team that I love to pitch against, but there is some strikeouts in the lineup, and John Gray has been able to limit power to righties, and that's important for a team that has Goldie and Arenado. What kind of ownerships are we getting on the Cardinals? What's up, Humboldt? Hope you're doing all right. What's up, Ryan? Thank you. Try to mention reference the player you're referring to slightly more often in sentences. All right, cool. Appreciate that. So pretty low ownership for the Cardinals. So I think I get to both teams here. Actually, what are the Rangers doing in ownership? Pretty low ownership. So I think I get to both teams. I don't think I'm gonna touch either pitcher, but again, I understand if you wanted to. It's kind of a polarizing. So we'll go Rangers, Cardinals. I'm not expecting much, and the fact that they're so low owned, like I literally could just give 4% of the portfolio equity, and I'll be okay with that. What's up, Travis? Let me start from the beginning. I've gone pretty fast today, Travis, so I'll probably be done in 15 minutes at this rate. Maybe 20. I don't know. Alright, cool. I feel like we're just doming. Am I going too fast, guys? I don't know. Usually I feel like I'm long-winded, but today everything's just kind of obvious. We go to Coors Field. Rockies a 4.6 run total. Giants a 6.6 run total. Still don't have a Giants lineup. Connor Seabold taking on Logan Webb. So Logan Webb by himself, just his stuff, is probably the best pitcher on the slate. But now we give him the Coors effect. And remember, going back to Ross' weather report, orange, yellow, scattered showers and storms. There's not much more to say than that. Delay is fairly likely. Postponement not out of the question. So Coors and weather is really going to make it hard to enjoy or play Logan Webb with a high level of confidence. So we might leave him off the mix, but we have seen some pitchers going to Coors. We just saw that Max Scherzer game in Colorado do well. So if it wasn't for the weather, I would probably be willing to get to some Logan Webb here. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. If that stuff clears up and we might get 5-6 innings before it rains, sure. But I think right now I'm going to be cautious. And then we'll get to the offenses. So what kind of ownership are we thinking on offenses? No ownership on the Rockies and Coors. Might be a Logan Webb thing, but man, if Webby goes out there and goes 2-3 innings and then it washes him out of the game, that's a lot of that's low ownership no matter what for Coors. But man, these Giants are coming with ownership. Wow. Highest owned stack on the slate looks like easily. Dodgers are close, but this is a lot of double digits. So there's plenty of low owned stacks if you really can't get off you can't get off the Giants. Plenty of low owned stacks. Heck, even the Rockies. So you can shuffle the deck of cards to kind of neutralize the ownership there. But wow, that's some incredible ownership. So makes a lot of sense though. 6.6 run total, pretty crazy. Connor Seabold, really bad. Pretty simple to break down, right? Keep an eye on the weather. I'm gonna play it because I think historically the Rockies have shown us a precedent that they wait out games. I've seen them play games at 1-2 in the morning my time, so I'm gonna lean towards that game just getting in no matter what. But it's always just guessing what other people are gonna think, right? So when this Giants lineup comes out, they'll probably be pretty late. I think lately they've been one of the last teams to throw a lineup out. Then we'll have some stronger decisions to make. We might get a little okey doke action with the platoons with Gabe Kapler, but it's just hard not to really like them pre-flop. So it is what it is. That was the only run? Yeah. Wait, Travis. No way you start from the beginning and then you're gonna mention stuff. you're gonna chat on a 50-minute delay. All right, we only got one game left to talk about. So I'll remind you guys we're migrating the domain at rundfs.com. So if you guys do want to use the spreadsheet or you want to get into premium Discord, I'll be in the voice chat in a little bit actually. DM me on Twitter or Discord. And we're doing the transactions manually through PayPal for now. And then I'll get you the links. And then hopefully tomorrow sometime we'll have the website back up and running. So if you got PayPal and you want to get into the premium stuff, hit me up. Twitter or Discord, twitter.com/Gundacker. And then Discord, I don't really... if you're in the free Discord, you can just see my name and click it. It is... Let me see. We just posted... I think it's 20 a week, 35 for 2 weeks, 70 for the month, or for the entire rest of the calendar year, not just baseball, $250, and that comes with a $100 credit towards Fantasy Cruncher. So it's essentially $150 with a rebate. So check that out, and then after the party, I'll be in the voice chat. We'll just be hanging out. It's kind of laid back as we all make our lineups. Today's slate just seems, I don't say cookie cutter, but it just seems like it's easy to connect dots and, don't have to make drastic decisions. Main event tonight, Cubs and the Angels. Jameson Taillon taking on Yami Barria. 4.3 run total for the Cubs, 5 for the Angels. Tyon, a 5+ expected ERA on the season, 1.5 WHIP. Barria, a 2.7 expected ERA. Has he been pitching deep? I feel like they've been ultra utility using him. 5 innings his last outing. Look at this, 5, 1, 5, 2.2, 4. The man just, what do you need? I got you. You went from a 25. Look at this pitch count: 58, 25, 64, 15, 90. I mean, good for him. The Barria that I know and love, historically, it wasn't somebody that I'm running to. I don't know if that 25% K rate is inflated because they bring him out in the right matchups on the season. So I'd be more likely to lean on like the last 2 years strikeout rate in terms of expectation. But with that said, the Cubs do have a lot of strikeouts. Only Nico Horner has a sub 23% K rate since the beginning of last year, so he could find some strikeouts at 7K. And now that I'm thinking out loud with the Yankees pitcher coming off the board, Randy Vasquez, remember he was at 34% ownership, probably because of the 4K price point, and then Lance Lynn was at 24% as well. Barria might actually pick up a lot of ownership as people go from 4K to what's next, and at 7K, I think he's one of the cheaper viable options. And if you just look at the strikeout rates from this year, which a lot of people will, yeah, we can see this 10% ownership go up, maybe 15, 20. So just think it out loud there. And I don't necessarily disagree because you can accidentally get strikeouts against this Cubs team. So it might be at both sides of the play for me. But I think I lean more towards a sub stack on the Cubs. And then for the Angels, I can get behind a full stack. Tyon hasn't been giving up power to righties, but his ground ball rate has dipped from last year. It's just that hard contact rate is elite. Just a 19% hard contact rate, which is kind of crazy because he has a 10% barrel rate. Maybe a lot of that's just coming against lefties. 35.8% hard contact to lefties. 22% ground ball rate, so low. 28% line drive rate, high walk rate, high home run per night. So this is an elite spot for Shohei Ohtani, who homered yesterday. So we'll keep an eye on that. If Ohtani's less owned than Max Scherzer, I don't understand. He's at 11%, and if he's less owned than Ronald Acuna against Max Scherzer, then I don't understand. Right, the same price and a much better matchup. He has 11% ownership, whereas Acuna came in at 20. Did we say 17%? 17% ownership. Like at that same price, I would like you're taking a home hitter that's gonna bat, in the first inning no matter what. I just feel like Ohtani's the way better play here at 6% less ownership. So just thinking out loud there. But then again, Acuna and Ohtani ownership could dip because the 4K pitchers coming off the board. I feel like there was some overlap between getting those guys in the lineup. So I'm going to add Angels to the full stack list. We're going to go sub stack on the Cubs. I guess you could also make a case that the Angels should just be a sub stack. Usually I'll do both. With Ohtani, Trout. Rendon left the game yesterday with an injury, so we'll see if he's in the lineup today. But yeah, this is really just a spot for lefties, and they don't have a ton of them. So I would say if Trout is Ohtani's protection, though, I'm fine with that. So Ohtani's looking really good. I might meditate on whether or not I want to sub stack Angels. Taylor Ward also went yard yesterday, so that's what I'm doing with that. I think I do throw Barria in the bottom of the tier 3. Is it all tier 3 pitchers today? Am I just going 20% or 30% everyone, mix it and match? I might upgrade Burns, but yeah, that's kind of how we're playing. That's the slate. What do you guys got? Questions, comments, concerns, hot takes? You guys want to hit that thumbs up for me? If not, we'll get you out of here. Tomorrow I think is not a stream day, if I remember correctly. I think it's one of those all-day travel days. Seems like Thursdays has been the league travel day. Yeah, spread out all day in the 6 p.m. games. There's only 5 of them. So I probably don't stream tomorrow. And then I'll touch base with Terry if he wants to dance with me on Friday. Wonder if Vasquez ownership will move to Blanco on DK because he's still pretty low price. Folks really want to get the Dodgers. It looks like folks really want to get to the Giants too. I guess it would, but I don't know. I don't think either pitcher was an elite play to begin with. And Blanco certainly has some struggles, and the name value of the matchup for him is a lot higher than what Vasquez had. Right? Yeah, look at this. It's not a really good strikeout spot. There's a little lane here with elevated strikeouts. It might though. I mean, we would hope it does, right? Like, I'd be okay if the Phil wants to take that. Creamer against Milwaukee. I'm personally not going to do it, but there's a couple pitchers that I didn't write on my list that if you guys took shots on, I wouldn't fault you for it, right? Like, if you took a shot on Cutter Crawford, not Cutter Crawford, he's limited in innings. If you took a shot on Dean Creamer, the matchup could get you some incidental strikeouts, but his metrics, I just don't trust the metrics to play. It's just like unstoppable force, immovable object of suck, right? 92 WRC plus for the Brewers team. So they don't hit great, but Dean Creamer has a lot of issues, and that 10% barrel rate could be a problem. So I'm not going to get there, but I wouldn't fault you for that. And then I think it was Jack Flaherty. If you played Jack Flaherty today, I could understand it. Right now, I don't think I'm going to do it, but I could understand it. So there's a couple guys, right? And then if the weather was clear, I would understand some Logan Webb. So, yeah. I kind of would understand if you took a punt on Jameson Taillon at 5.5K, because he'll throw strikes, throw some bullets. If he eats 5-6 innings and he gives up 1 or 2 runs to Ohtani, sure. Every now and then he's gonna spit 15 plus. Got 19 against the Padres. Not going to be a strikeout efficient guy. So if he does allow some earnings, can't really erase those negative points with strikeouts. But like on a slate like this at 5.5K, I don't think you're crazy. So there's a couple guys that I'm going to leave out of my list so far. But it's baseball, right? I don't think you're crazy for maybe taking some stabs on that. And if that's your 4K Vasquez to Taillon pivot, I get it. Especially when you dip into Taillon's strengths, that 3.67 xFIP to righties, 23% K rate, throwing strikes, not giving up power, and his weakness being lefties. Like, if this lineup somehow came out with Ohtani not in it, I'd have to really think about it. So, yeah, a couple guys not on my list that I think are honorary mention, right? Anything else you guys got? Scared about Webb? Yeah, Webby right now is probably going to be outside looking in for my stuff just because of the weather. Well, it's 4 o'clock, guys. Again, if you guys want to grab a VIP thing, hit me up on Twitter, hit me on Discord. I appreciate you making part of my afternoon be part of your afternoon. I can't believe we did this whole slate in an hour, top to finish, and I don't feel like I cut any corners. So we'll be back on Friday. Tomorrow, likely not going to do a stream. Likely, right? 5-game slate, we don't really need to, right? So, Friday. And that's it, man. I appreciate you guys. I really do. Love you guys. Hope you guys had a good afternoon. If you guys are in the Northeast, man, stay indoors. Stay indoors. Be safe. It's getting smaller by the hour. Yeah. Hope you guys crushed it tonight. Good night. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.